All right, just real quick, have a little bit of a different run of show. We'll ultimately get it back to football, but before we do that, have a good opportunity here with Coach Kelly and Pocky. They're going to make a presentation on behalf of the Kelly Cares Foundation and our football program to the Food Bank of Northern Indiana. So at this time, if the Executive Director of the Food Bank, Milt Lee, and Brian and Pocky can come on over, we'll make this presentation and share a few words on what the presentation's for.
I just want to spend a little bit of time. Our Football 101 that we run in June of the previous year, we have our staff at ND that participate and make that event possible and to the degree of its success. And one of the things that we've done on the behalf of the coaching staff is that they've donated their time for our event, and we let, between them and Kelly Cares, we find a local charity so that we can make a donation to on behalf of those, the coaching staff at Notre Dame. So Kelly Cares would like to present to the Food Bank of Northern Indiana a check for $10,000 for this upcoming year.
Thank you. Thank you so much. You know, I really want to thank the University of Notre Dame, Kelly Cares Foundation, Football 101, the coaching staff, obviously Coach Kelly and Pocky for their generous contribution to the Food Bank of Northern Indiana. $10,000 can do a whole heck of a lot for the Food Bank of Northern Indiana, specifically for the Food for Kids program, where we send about 2,000 kids home every single weekend during the school year with a backpack full of food, so that they have an opportunity to have nutritious food on the weekends. Because as you know, a lot of those kids rely on the food that they get during the school day at school, but when they get home, you know, hunger doesn't end there. So that we have an opportunity, because of this incredible contribution, we can add almost 100 kids to our Food for Kids program. That's a great thing. So I really want to thank the university, Coach Kelly, Pocky, the foundation, Football 101, and the coaching staff here at the University of Notre Dame. Thank you so much. Thank you, guys.
Does anybody have any questions for him before we turn it over to football stuff?
I'm not.
Should we refer any callers?
Yeah.
Actually, Pocky, just what does it mean to you guys just to be able to do stuff like this every year and be able to give back? I know you have multiple areas that you guys give back to, but just to continue to have stuff like this.
Well, our pillars are pretty general. There's community health and education, and so it has allowed us to help a variety of you know, organizations that are in need, and obviously we're trying to keep most of the money here locally when we can and have some of those impacts, you know, immediately. I always say selfishly, I always like to know that who it is we're giving to in those places in need, and see some of those faces like we did last week at Myers with around the bend. And I mean, it's very rewarding, and it's much needed. So we're glad to be here, and we're glad that we have the ability to help out and fill a need in the community.
Does this donation, I mean, does it cover everything in the food backpack program? I mean, are all the kids then going to get what they need now?
Yeah, you know, they'll get what they need for the weekend. And what we do is we put shelf-stable food in there, things that kids can heat up quickly. And we really pay attention to the nutritional value in that food. They always say they have a fruit, they have protein, they have pasta, there's a snack in there, there's something to drink, so it's a well-rounded backpack. It's stuffed, it's discreet. So the advisors at every single school, they recommend which kids should be part of this program. And then we provide that food, and we also have some of the Notre Dame students and some of the other athletes too. They come out and they actually pack some of those backpacks as well. So we're really connected to the university with this program. And again, you know, $10,000 for our purposes has about $100,000 worth of impact for what we do and for kids. I mean, I can't tell you what it means for our program, what it means for the Food Bank of Northern Indiana to receive that generous amount of funding.
Anything else?
Great. Thank you.
Thank you, guys. you know, this was, I'll just add one last thing. This was our 5th consecutive year with Football 101, which we sold out, and we raised over $100,000. And you know, I think that you know, we certainly have a great time and being able to teach football to the many ladies that come to the event, and breast cancer awareness is part of it. But the event can't be the success it is without our coaches and my 9 full-time coaches plus my support staff. They are really the drivers of the event, and Beth Rex, my administrative assistant, she does an incredible job of organizing it from year to year. So those behind the scenes kind of activities kind of are important to point out, because our coaches really make this event too, and so their support make it a really really fun day. So last year we were able to give $10,000 to assist. You know, I don't know if you guys remember last year, kidney dialysis was on the forefront of everybody's minds because of Coach Elliott, and we were able to donate $10,000 to that foundation to assist in the help of that, you know, obviously tough disease. So each year we've been able to do something with our coaches. So I just wanted to end on that note, and we'll segue into some football, which I know you guys are eager to talk about, and I certainly am too. Or water mains breaking at our banquet. So let's not talk about that.
3 practices, Brian?
Yes, this was our 3rd.
What have you seen from Everett and Malik in those first 3 practices? What impressions do you have of them?
A real focus and attention to some specific things that we believe will make them better quarterbacks. Footwork, communication, and attention to a detail that is needed at that position. It's been great competition, and I think they both have benefited greatly from the last three practices and film time that we've had with them.
And did you get the response you wanted to see from Everett in terms of a guy being demoted or being thrown into a competition?
Yes, I mean, you know, we had a conversation about what I wanted from him, and he's handled it great. He's doing exactly what I'm asking him to do on a day-to-day basis, and he's been. Look, I don't know if I've mentioned this. I wasn't even interested in really going down this road unless he was fully committed and engaged in, you know, working on the things that I think he needed to work on, and he's been all of that. So now we're 3 days into it. You know, 3 practices. We got a ways to go, but you know, I like the competition at the position right now, and we're trending and working in a good manner right now at that position.
Brian, is the right tackle position a similar situation, or is that still Lombard's starting spot?
That's a competitive situation as well. Mike's getting a lot of reps at that position. You know, we like the things that he did against USC, and you know, I'd say that's a very competitive situation right now.
Is it too early with the 4 that asked for an evaluation from the NFL, that, as far as them providing you with an evaluation?
Well, you know, I have a lot of input prior to from a number of GMs and coaches on their status, and I've got a sense of where we are with the 4 guys, and I'm pretty confident about where we are with all 4 of them.
This may be a little unfair to ask you. Can you speak to whether are all 4 of those guys in line to earn their undergraduate degree at the conclusion of this semester, or can you speak to that?
Ronnie is not.
Ronnie's not, the other 3 are?
Yes.
Yep.
Brian, I assume you want to figure out who would be your starter before you go down there? Is that, it wouldn't be a game time decision, or could you work both in? Is it a decision?
Yeah, they're both going to play. They're both going to play. Yep.
And another guy that got a start, or not a start, but got his chance at USC after a little bit of time off, Greg Bryant, has he continued in 3 practices? Has he continued his ascent yet, or have they been involved much?
Yeah, no, I think Greg's getting a lot of work. You know, we liked what he did in the game. You know, he still wasn't 100% with his ankle. He didn't have that burst. You know, he's not a 4-4 guy anyway, but you know, he's got a good sense of what we're trying to accomplish at the position and getting north and south and playing physical. So, no, I think he's definitely, you know, he's a freshman, right? You know, this is his first year of competition. So, you know, we like the way he's practicing, and I think he's doing some good things.
A little bit, was it an uptick in his practice after getting into USC?
Oh yeah, absolutely. He's doing well. He really is. I like what Greg's doing. He's doing well in all facets. Doing well in school, and really like his attitude.
Brian, you said both will play. Can you expand upon that a little bit in terms of, is it one of those situations where from league you want to have him in a game situation to really be able to evaluate him to see what you have?
Well, certainly that's part of it. You know, we got a glimpse of what he can do against USC, but I think both of them can help us win. I want to play them both because I think both of them have some different traits, and we need to find a way to win the game. And I think both of them can help us win.
Ryan, do you have clarity on Eiler Hardy's situation?
Yes, he will be back next semester. He is eligible to play.
And so he's going to be.
No, he will graduate next semester.
Okay.
So he will be eligible to play in the bowl game.
Okay. And then, is there anybody else that's healthy that you won't have availability? Is everybody else going to be available for you that's not injured?
Well, we're hopeful that Shelvin Day is able to play for us. Right? So that would be the biggest one. Max Redfield's practicing. Jay Hayes is practicing. I'm trying to think of the guys that you're asking in particular.
Right.
Austin Collinsworth had surgery, so he's out.
I asked the question poorly. There were some people speculating that maybe there would be players that were healthy that wouldn't be available for one reason or another. And is that the case, or are you going to have everybody that is healthy? Like Eiler Hardy was a situation.
Oh, he's good. Ask the question. I don't know who you're referring to. I'll answer the question.
Well, I mean, there was speculation over players being suspended. There's nobody suspended.
Nobody.
Okay.
Nobody. The only problem we would have is if there's an academic situation, and we're right in the middle of exams. But we have no players that have done anything that has put them in jeopardy for suspension. And that would be notification that would go to my desk, given our communication system right now. So
I need to study my questions better.
no, I didn't know if there was something that there was somebody that I was missing in that injury question, but I know what you're asking now. So I haven't. There is no player that's on our roster that has been suspended or kicked off the team or has run afoul with the law, or I don't follow the information streams that you guys follow. So so sometimes you have to. So you guys have to sometimes, give me more information. So we got all the guys that are healthy that don't have those little carts. We could have like a cart race. We got plenty of those guys out there.
Who would win that big party?
The guy that's got the best battery.
Sheldon's such a big part of your rush defense. Yeah. When do you think you'll have clarity on this situation?
It's a two-way kind of deal. The clarity will be, I don't want to play him unless he's healthy enough to really contribute. Look, we're really thin there. we're playing a very physical offensive line and a very good, running team. And we've got to come up with a way, to slow him down offensively in terms of running the ball. If he's not 100%, I'm not going to put him in a position that obviously would not help him. So he's doing really well right now. He's confident that he's going to be ready, but we'll make that decision together. And we're not near that date where I feel comfortable saying he's going to be there and he's ready to go. He wants to be, and he says he is, but I'm pumping the brakes a little bit until we get closer before we make that decision.
So he's clearly not 100% right now?
He's clearly not 100%.
As you start to look at LSU, and I'm sure you look deeper than you have up to this point, but just off the top of your head, what do you think are some of the keys in order to beat a team like LSU?
Well, we have to protect our defense, right? We're limited inside. That's the biggest issue that we have right now. We're limited inside in terms of defensive tackle play, and so we're going to have to make some adjustments there. We think we've got some ideas in terms of what we can do. We have to do a really good job offensively of controlling the flow of the game. So a lot of it will be on our offensive game plan and keeping their offense off the field.
One of the things that you toyed with when Sheldon first was injured was Rochelle.
Isaac
inside.
Rochelle, yes.
Are you looking at that
Yes.
a little bit more?
Yes, absolutely.
This is off topic a little bit, but recruiting's changed in that this time of year, a few years ago, you were still chasing a large amount of players.
Yeah.
It's different now. Most of your class is committed. How has that changed the dynamics of your recruiting in December? You're still on the road a lot.
Yeah.
You always go a lot.
Right. It's allowed us to really focus specifically on, 8 players maybe, 10 max, but really 4 in particular. I think we're down where we can talk about really being specific about the players that we're looking to finish off the class, and that allows for real attention to those guys specifically, and allows all 9 coaches to be involved in recruiting 4 to 6 to 8 players.
And it allows you to tend to a little bit more to the guys that are already committed.
That's correct. We had a pretty big weekend this weekend. A number of those guys were already committed. You're obviously building stronger relationships and spending more time with them, and all that is, part of this process of recruiting. So, having us in a position where we are right now with a number of kids committed and what we believe to be strong commitments, though you never know until signing day, it allows us to really work hard on staying strong with those relationships.
A little less frantic than maybe it used to be in December when you were.
Probably it feels like, of all the years that I've been here, probably we're positioned better than at any time. Now, part of that is having a real good understanding of how you recruit at Notre Dame, really understanding our needs and filling our needs, and over the last 2 years, really addressing the defensive line position. So we're not scrambling like we were last year late with the defensive line position.
Thank you.
Brian,
Yeah.
if you're going to be using 2 quarterbacks, how does that change the dynamic of competition right now? And what kind of a challenge does that put on you just to manage that in a game, getting 2 quarterbacks in, and how you divide the time?
Well, right now we've got a plan in place in practice that I feel very comfortable with, and we'll continue to evaluate that as we move through our practices. I think as we get into the game, there are skill sets that each one of them has that are a little bit different, that we'll utilize in the game, and we'll go to those strengths and call upon those strengths in the game. And I feel very confident that I can manage both of them during the game and call up, because it's not going to be pull one to put the other one in, because they're not moving the team you know, we're going to be utilizing both of them, you know, to help us control the flow of the game.
If one of them is successful, they're probably more likely to be able to stay in longer?
That's possible. I don't know that, you know, I've ever gone into a game and said, well, you know, he's going to only play this amount regardless. You know, I think you try to get a feel for it. But there are some things that, you know, we clearly know that one quarterback does a little bit better than the other. And we'll go to those strengths regardless of the situation.
If your role was flipped, where you were guys defending a right-handed quarterback and a left-handed quarterback, how difficult would that be in preparing a defensive plan against them?
Calls are a little bit different. Yeah. Now, if we were playing, say, in Arizona State, which is virtually all pressures, changes a little bit. It's not a big pressure team. This is line up, here's what we do, and, you know, we go play. So it's not as much for a team like LSU where they put their hand in the dirt and they just go play. So I don't think it's going to cause them much, but there are other teams that this would cause a little bit more of an issue, not this group.
With finals this week, what is the practice itinerary, and are you satisfied with maybe how much contact work you might be able to get in with all the injuries you especially have on defense, as opposed to a couple of years ago with Alabama, where you weren't able to maybe practice as physically as you wanted to?
Right. We went for an hour today. So when there's exams, we're going for an hour. When there weren't exams, when we were in study days, we went an hour and a half. And then when we conclude exams, we're going 2 hours. And when we conclude exams, we're going to tackle. So that's kind of the format relative to the practice schedules. We'll go up until the 22nd. And so once exams end, we'll have contact within the practice that brings the backs down and keeps our guys sharp in terms of tackling technique.
Are you practicing all this week for an hour each day?
Not each day, no. Tomorrow will be weight training and meetings, and then we'll come back and alternate that through the week.
And how, during this time, you want to especially evaluate the younger personnel?
We've evaluated. It's a little bit different in terms of years past. We've evaluated a ton of defensive personnel. So this is more about utilizing some offensive personnel evaluating. So a lot of young offensive linemen.
That's what I wanted to ask.
I'm sorry to interrupt.
No,
so
no problem. That's what I wanted to ask specifically.
Yeah.
Guys like Quentin Nelson, is
Yeah.
he a guard? Is he a tackle?
Yeah.
What do you have the freshman project?
Well, yeah, we got him at guard. Alex Bars at right tackle, left tackle. So Bars, Sam Mustafer's taking some center reps. You know, John Monolis at guard. So I think that young group is, you know, Nelson, you know, playing left guard right now, and I think we like him. You know, he's got some versatility, but I think we like him at guard right now.
Hunter Biven, is he going to remain a tackle or
Yeah, we think he's a tackle. We do.
Because you had Colin McGovern practicing in the spring at tackle, but you thought all along he's an interior.
Yeah, we think so. Colin, I think, is probably going to end up inside, and Hunter will probably end up outside.
Brian, what makes LSU the best pass defense in the country, and does the fact that you are playing an elite pass defense figure into the way you look at Everett and Malik going into this game?
Well, they're a aggressive press man team that gets right up on you and dares you to throw the football. You know, I think they have a lot of similarities to Michigan State in the way they play their corners. They're just going to go up there and lock you down and dare you to throw the football in one-on-one situations. So that coupled with you know, a very athletic front, you know, very big and athletic up front, and they're going to get pressure with you know, 4 and 5 man rushes and force you to beat them with some one-on-one throws. So I think that that's probably, they're not going to, they're not giving you multiple looks and multiple coverages. They're going to beat you with, very aggressive style of coverage, and you've got to win some one-on-one matchups.
Ryan, earlier you said regarding the quarterback competition, you weren't interested in going down this road unless Everett was fully committed. Fully committed to what? If he wasn't locked in, you might have just stuck with him? What are you trying to say?
Well, fully committed to, first of all, you have to understand where you are, and committed to the journey of, getting better. Committed to that journey, and he's fully committed to being the best player he can be through my lens.
If he hadn't been, you wouldn't have gone to a quarterback competition? Is that what you were saying, though?
Yeah, there wouldn't have been competition.
It would have been straight to Zaire?
Yeah, yeah. Which would have been the case at any position, right? Not just, and that's pretty standard, though. I mean, anybody that's not interested in getting better at what a coach feels is the areas that he needs to get better at, he usually transfers or moves on.
What are the strengths of each guy? You mentioned that you'll play to each strength. What are those?
Well, first, Everett's got a lot of experience, and threw for a lot of yards, over 3,000 yards, and he's capable of obviously some big plays and throwing the football. Malik's not as experienced, but Malik's shown himself to be very good at running some of our read option stuff. So at first glance, that would be some of the things early on. We think that there's more than that. We think that they can both complement themselves in other areas, but I think at first glance, those would be the things that immediately that they can add to the position.
What's the mood of the team right now? Obviously, you end the year with 4 straight losses. You have 2 weeks off. Where are the guys mentally as you prepare for this bowl game?
They want to win. I mean, they I think defensively, they know that they're a little shorthanded, and they got to find ways to come up with some plays. And they're all, look, they clearly know that from their standpoint that they've got to find a way, to slow down LSU. I think our offense knows that they have to play better. They probably, understand how important it is to control the flow of the game. But they practiced well, and I told them this. I mean, they've practiced well all year. We haven't translated that consistently, and that's through a number of different things. But primarily, they've got to trust their technique. They've got to trust themselves, and if they do that, they'll find a way to beat LSU.
Anything else?
Yeah, Coach, you talked about the quarterback competition going into this game. Is this something where if it works well, you may carry into possibly 2 quarterback situation, or is this just more of a let's figure out a way to beat LSU and then try to figure out who our guy is in the spring moving into next fall?
I'm open really to anything at this point. We want to put the best football team, the best offense that we can put on the field. Ideally you'd like to have 1, but if we've got 2, then that's what we'll do. So we'll see how this plays out, and then evaluate it as we move forward. So I haven't closed the door to any kind of scenario.
Then with young guys developing, getting healthier, Torrey Hunter Jr., time off I would imagine would have been pretty good for him to get him back to 100%. How's he been so far in this preparation?
He's been good. I expect him to, get some more playing time and make a contribution in this game. He's going to have to.
I was curious about the defense. I know injuries are a huge part of it. I remember, I think it was after Michigan, you said you guys tracked mistakes, and there were plenty at the beginning of the year that maybe just the opposition didn't sort of take advantage of. Did those jump up, that number jump up over the second half of the season, or did they stay about the same, just got exploited?
Well, there were a number of things, that occurred. We probably underestimated the effect of, you know, Joe Schmidt's presence on the field. You know, I think that, you know, clearly we were affected by not being able to, you know, get our guys in position against hurry-up offenses. And, you know, that's an area that we've worked really hard these last couple of days and running against, you know, going fast. You know, it's an area that we worked hard at. I think those things definitely were factors. And then, you know, we lost a lot of depth too at the start of the year. You know, losing Ishak and losing Kendall Moore. You know, those guys probably impacted us a little bit more than we thought. So when we had to turn to a lot of freshmen, you know, we kind of kept it together. And then when the injuries kind of got to us, and we didn't have that kind of leadership on the field, you know, it exposed us. Now, having said that, I think if we were able to do some more things on offense, we would have been fine. But I think those things kind of snowballed on us defensively.
You talked about simplifying things a little bit with the offense at a need. Is there now that you've had some time to look at, are you able to do that with the defense with Niles and Mike, or is LSU's kind of all the formations and things they do?
No, I think we feel like we need to, you know, be in a position where we can line up and be in a good fits and be fundamental and have our guys, you know, in a good position to come up. We got to be able to tackle effectively, obviously. So, you know, no, those are definite musts for us going into the game.
Cool.
Good.
Thanks, everybody.
All righty.